Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, $4 million has been paid to port workers to resolve a long-standing salary dispute with the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority. In the news from the region, Barbados' Prime Minister says greater cooperation needed in crime fights, and internationally, police say Wisconsin school attackers' motive appears to be a combination of factors. The details of these stories and more coming up next.
Sunday, December 22, gather family and friends for a DBS Christmas showcase featuring past winners and competitors of the DBS Christmas Song Contest, plus special guests. Listen and watch live on DBS Radio and DBS Facebook and YouTube. Sunday, December 22 from 7 p.m. Make it a family get-together. DBS News.
And welcome back. $4 million has been paid to port workers to resolve a long-standing salary dispute with the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority. The impasse dates back to 24 years ago when the salaries of stevedores and longshoremen were reduced by 33%. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt presented the check to the union representing the employees this afternoon.
My joy and my excitement is that the promise of a resolution came to pass, and we're here to hand over the check. And I really want to commend the current leadership, the representatives of the longshoremen, stevedores, and so on. I found it to be very professional, very respectful, very decent in your engagement. We never had any rancor among ourselves and beating ourselves in the discussions. I felt you were very articulate. You made your case very strong and very clear. That's what the members need. People who can speak to them and speak to them fairly and transparently. I think that the men owe you a debt of gratitude, if I'm to say so, for your leadership and for your representation.
And that was Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt. Chairman of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Blaise Jones, says the disbursement of the funds is a new day for the port workers.
The point is, we're here today because those salaries are going to be paid. We are thankful for the patience of the port workers, the stevedores and longshoremen. You have exercised a lot of patience over the years. The difficulties and problems that you've been going through and the hardships that ensued as a result. We're hoping that today is the start of a brand new era. We can put this issue behind us and you can continue to work as a team in harmony and cooperation, because this issue has been hanging on not just your back, on our back also. And I think it has, in its own little way, hindered your productivity, because you're thinking that you have been owed X amount and you are asked to deliver day in and day out.
And that was the chairman of the Dominica Air and Seaport Authority, Blaise Jones. Ambassador Leroy Waddox-Charles is a representative of the Waterfront and Allied Workers Union.
So we are very privileged today when the Prime Minister agreed to intervene to bring this impasse to a resolution. And I must say we are extremely grateful. We expected more, we deserve more, we wanted more. So we hope that the settlement can go tax-free, very important. And we really want to thank the Prime Minister for intervening and the government for really agreeing to actually bring this to some level of conclusion. So now, even the younger port workers that are there can now negotiate a collective agreement, because we did not have a collective agreement for 20 plus years. While every other sector, including the other aspects of DASPA, could have done so and get whatever increases, we couldn't. We were handicapped because we could not negotiate a collective agreement. This resolution today will signify a new day for the dock workers, where they now can actually negotiate a new collective agreement.
And that was Leroy Wadix Charles of Wahoo. Port workers told DBS News the settlement of the long-standing impasse is a relief for the port workers.
And I give thanks to God that it come to a close, what I mean? This, because really and truly, we know how things are. And in that hard economic time, anything that I would have gotten, I give thanks. So I'm really grateful that this thing come to an end.
I've been there since 1988. It's something that I think that is long overdue, but I'm glad that at least we can get something. I appreciate that now that it's settled, that the port workers as well as DASPA could move forward. I appreciate that the Prime Minister was able to intervene and to be able to settle. It is true that it's not what we expected, but we appreciate what we were able to get.
It wasn't bad. It's long in coming, and I'm glad it come to an end, and I hope that it can open a way for us to have new development, new things, have better communication, just let things happen for the interest of everybody on a whole, not only for the port and the consumers, but for Dominicans, because we as port workers, we sacrifice all different times of the night, all wee hours of the night, just to make the people of Dominica happy. And even Creole Festival, many times in risky conditions, we have done things to make the Creole Festival be a success, So moving forward, I think that's a step in the right direction.
And that was some of the voices of the port workers. Still in our national focus, Health Minister Kasani Laville says the Pharmacy Act 2024 aims to facilitate the procurement of essential pharmaceutical supplies for the Dominican public. Minister Laville told Parliament this morning that the Pharmacy Act 2024 will advance public health initiatives in Dominica. The bill was passed into law this morning.
This legislation empowers pharmacists by equipping them with the resources and recognition that is absolutely necessary to deliver critical services such as vaccinations, chronic disease management, and healthcare screening. The establishment of a pharmacy council will delineate the requirements for registration and ongoing professional development for pharmacists. In addition, Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to enhance transparency and accountability within the pharmaceutical supply chain. By regulating this essential sector, we can ensure that medications are safe, they are effective, and they are free from counterfeit risks. Public health initiatives also stand to benefit immensely for this legislation. Pharmacies are pivotal participants in campaigns from immunization drives to education initiatives and disease prevention. Moreover, we must encourage innovation within our pharmacy sector. This bill lays out a framework for adopting technological advancements such as e-prescriptions and digital health platforms, making our healthcare system more efficient and patient-centered. I would also like to highlight that this legislation aims to improve access to medications, particularly in underserved populations.
And that was Health Minister Kasani Laville. Meantime, Minister for Agriculture Roland Royer says the new medical laboratory bill will help build testing capacity during times of crisis.
In terms of collaboration with other entities, that's very, very critical, that you can have peer-to-peer review. Lab farmers can decide they can have a peer-to-peer review with from Trinidad to ensure that the practices are in line with best practices, and we can learn from each other. But importantly, Mr. Speaker, when we're looking at in terms of emergencies and guidance in crisis situation, we also what we went through COVID-19 pandemic. We were searching and bouncing our heads where are we going to get equipment for testing. So what the council can do in terms of crisis, they can ensure that the public health response in accordance with best practices. It's not that we're busy and we're in time of crisis, that we're going to do things vice-versa. That's where the council can step in and make sure that the tests are done accurately based on international standards and persons that are treated get the best results from the lab. So the functions and benefits from that laboratory council is very, very critical for the health systems in Dominica. It protects us in ensuring that we get proper diagnosis so that we can be treated properly, and of course, maintain the health of Dominica.
And that was the Minister for Agriculture, Roland Roy. The Dominica Parliament also made way for the Dominica Hospital Authority to make decisions on behalf of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital and the Marriott Hospital.
As a governing body, the authority is entrusted with holding the administration accountable for its operations and decisions. It guarantees efficient resource management and equitable policy implementation. Through systematic reviews and audits, the authority promotes transparency, cultivating trust among patients, staff, and the broader community. In the rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, marked by innovations in technology and shifting patient needs, the authority will convene individuals with diverse expertise to develop long-term objectives and various strategies. It will also ensure that the policies and services provided resonate with the needs and values of the communities served. Furthermore, the authority will oversee crucial quality assurance programs, patient safety initiatives, and compliance with regulations, guaranteeing that every patient receives the quality of care that they rightfully deserve. The financial management of the hospital, including budgeting, revenue generation, and investments in infrastructure and innovation, will also fall within its purview. To enable the authority to operate effectively, we must acknowledge that a new payment structure will need to be established for some services that are being rendered. I recognize that this might be a topic that can be sensitive, but it is necessary for consideration.
And that was Health Minister Kasani Laville. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services, Kent Edwards, defended the 2024 Amendment Bill for the Dominica Hospital Authority, which addresses the payment for certain health services.
Healthcare has come, like I said before, and as all the other speakers before me said, a very long way, Mr. Speaker. But as it is moving forward, Mr. Speaker, we have to move with the trends and we have to put things in place to manage the health care of the people, Mr. Speaker. The hospital authority was put in place in 2021 and they are given the mandate to manage the Dominica China Friendship Hospital and the Marriott Hospital. But Mr. Speaker, not only that the government has put the authority in place, they have equipped, like I said, the hospital. And with so many equipment and with so many diagnostic tests can be done in Dominica. And the people that are over 65 are getting it for free. Those that are 18 and under are getting free health care. And like was said before, there are some people well within that range that could afford to pay. However, they have been overlooked. So it is only fair that those that are able to pay can pay.
And that was the Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Social Services, Kent Edwards. Parliament has been adjourned, sine die. Communications and Public Relations Specialist of Discover Dominica Authority, Mona Alexis, has announced a decision to reschedule the official launch of the Carnival 2025 to Friday, December 27, 2024. The event was originally scheduled for Friday, December 20th, 2024 at the Promenade. Alexis says the launch will include live music, captivating performances, and a preview of the 2025 Carnival season.
In the spirit of Christmas, we wish to inform the public that the highly anticipated launch of Dominica's Carnival, originally scheduled for Friday, December 20th, has been rescheduled to Friday, December 27th. This adjustment was thoughtfully made to allow everyone to fully enjoy the holiday season and come together for a grand celebration after Christmas festivities. The event will proceed at the same venue, Rosa River Promenade, and the program will feature an exciting lineup of entertainment, including live music, captivating performances, and a preview of the 2025 Carnival season. We appreciate your understanding and look forward to welcoming everyone as we kick off the real mass, Dominica's unique carnival experience in grand style on December 27th.
And that was the Communications and Public Relations Specialist at Discover Dominica Authority, Monal Alexis. And on our feature segment of the news, outstanding beekeeper Nathaniel Lovell of Kulabistri takes the spotlight. Mr. Lovell has taken major regional awards this year and excelled at the Youkeeper during the Ministry of Agriculture's awards ceremony. Beekeeper Nathaniel Lovell is our feature on the evening news.
Yeah, well, it's for outstanding apiaries of 2024. I guess it was for the achievements that I've had through the year with the win from the National Honey Show and the 3 first place prizes in St. Lucia just last week, and also last year winning light and dark amber honey as well in St. Lucia.
Talk to us about your involvement in beekeeping over several years, how long it started and so on.
Yeah, well, I've been a beekeeper for more than 10 years, but in terms of as a business, it's just 5. I've grown from like 2 hives to 100. I bought 8 at one point, and then I turned it to 100, and now one of the biggest honey producers on island.
In terms of sales and so on, I think you also export honey and so on out of Dominica.
Yeah, on a small scale, but we export nonetheless. We do to St. Martin and Tortola, I think, yeah.
What about the bee sector in Dominica right now?
I think it's an area for growth. Beekeeping is looked at in Dominica as the area with the most expansion across the Caribbean. Recently in the Beekeepers Congress, Dominica had the highest margin for growth. So it's something that the Ministry of Agriculture is also looking into expanding apiculture in Dominica.
And how many beekeepers, from what you know, how many do we have, active beekeepers on the island right now?
That's a tricky question, it's a tricky answer as well. But I know for sure the National Beekeepers Association cooperative, have 90 members. I'm not sure if everyone is active, but we have 90 members in just the cooperative.
And that was outstanding beekeeper Nathaniel Lovell of Kulabistri, taking us to the end of this evening's featured segment and national focus. Up next is news from the region and international.
Sunday, December 22, gather family and friends for a DBS Christmas showcase featuring past winners and competitors of the DBS Christmas Song Contest, plus special guests. Listen and watch live on DBS Radio and DBS Facebook and YouTube. Sunday, December 22 from 7 p.m. Make it a family get-together.
DBS News.
And welcome back. Now news from the region. Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Amor Motley, is calling for greater collaboration amongst the 18 countries assigned to the Alliance for Security, Justice and Development as the crime rate continues to increase across the region. Speaking at the launch of the Latin America and the Caribbean Alliance for Security and Development and the Alliance's Caribbean's chapter, dubbed One Safe Caribbean, Motley warned that the region could lose the battle against perpetrators of crime if its leaders failed to put up a united front against criminal activity. The Prime Minister maintained that law-abiding citizens must see it as their responsibility to work with these agencies involved in the crime fight. And internationally, police in Wisconsin says the motive for the deadly school shooting in the state's capital, Madison, on Monday appears to be a combination of factors. But Madison Police Chief Sean Barnes says he's unable to share more on the motive whilst the investigation is ongoing. A teenage pupil and a teacher were shot dead and 6 others injured at a Christian private school by a 15-year-old girl named by authorities as Natalie Rupnow. The alleged attacker is believed to have died from self-inflicted gunshot wounds. Well, this brings us to the end of this evening's news. Up next is sports.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Christmas in this year. Mom, can I have this?
We have an extra $400 from Flow. You can have everything you want.
More gifts with Flow. With Christmas in, win weekly prices up to 10,000 in cash. Sign up for a postpaid bundle or a broadband plan.
We Christmasing with free groceries from Flow, plus a chance to win weekly prizes and up to $10,000 cash. Head over to your nearest Flow store or visit discoverflow.co. Flow, we Christmasing.
More gifts with Flow.
And welcome to your DBS Evening Sports for today, December 17th for 2024. First off, we bowl off with some cricket news here as the sun has set on the Sari Sari Sunrisers, whilst the Indian River Rowers managed to patch up their boat to stay afloat in the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament. Sports editor Gavin Richards has a roundup of Tuesday's actions at the Windsor Park.
Indian River Rowers kept their chances of making the top four in the Dream 11 Nature Isle T10 tournament alive, while the Sari Sari Sunrisers have been eliminated as matches continued on Tuesday at Windsor Park. Well, the Indian River Rowers, they picked up a very impressive 9-wicket win over the D-Threads T2 God Splashers. Splashers batted first and they were restricted to 66 for 8 in their 10 overs. Noel Leo, he top scored with 16. CJ Charles picked up 2 for 8. Keon Gaston 2 for 17 and Neo Davis 2 for 3 for the Indian River Rowers. The Rowers then smashed a 69 for 1 in 5.5 overs to win the game by 9 wickets, with Junior Henry getting 35 not out and Sadrak Descartes 33. Dylan Douglas took the lone wicket for the D-Threads T2 God Splashers. CJ Charles was named the Bullseye Pharmacy Player of the Match.
We spoke before the game and previous games, and we had a plan, and my job was just to go out and stick to the plan and do the best of my ability.
All right, your best bowling display in the tournament so far, because you've been getting some stick before. So what do you think made the difference for you personally today?
Just the confidence in the camp. We have a good energy, and each game we try to display that energy on the field. So I just came with that confidence and tried to do my best.
All right, and what can you take from this performance? You still have a few more games to go. I'm sure you're looking to play a more pivotal role in your team now.
Yeah, we just have to keep the energy. Each player has their role, and we just have to execute it well.
And that was the Bullseye Pharmacy Player of the Match, CJ Charles. Well, let's hear now from the winning captain, Sadrak Descartes.
I mean, the conditions suit our bowling. The guys executed the plan, and in the end, it worked out.
And to see CJ Charles, for example, really delivering today, has had a rough start to the tournament. What was it like seeing him coming up trumps today?
I mean, he's a good cricketer. He's been listening to the plans. He's been trying to execute and looking ways to improve. He's coming to the party, although he went for a few runs in the first over. But it's always good to see the youngsters learning and improving the game.
All right, and of course, this win keeps you in the hunt for a spot in the top 4, moves you to 6 points, tied with the Valley Hikers. But you still have some games to win. What will be the message to the guys over the next few days?
We can't be complacent. We can't relax. We have a big challenge ahead. From now on, we have every game to win, so we just have to keep pressing and looking for ways to improve.
Indian River Rowers captain Sadrak Descartes. Captain of the D-Threads T2 God Splashers is Jelani Robinson.
It was one of those crazy days. We didn't bat well, obviously defending 60. Look at the conditions. You're always going to be under the pump. So credit to Rowers. I think Rowers wanted it more today. That's just it.
All right. What positives can you possibly take from the display today?
I think the only positive for us is the unity in the team. That one defeat doesn't do anything to us, So I think guys still together. At the end of the day, you still have 10 points to start 2 games to play. So there's more positives for the entire tournament. This one game is not going to break us.
All right, and surely that will be the message to the team tonight, or this afternoon, I should say. Keep the heads up, and we're going to continue moving.
Yeah, the guys are all right, man. It's just one of those days, and we move past that.
Well, in the other encounter on Tuesday, the Champion Reef Divers, they picked up 2 crucial points and in the process knocked out the Sari Sari Sunrisers as the tournament continued on Tuesday afternoon. Divers taking first knock, 122 for 5 was what they got in their 10 overs. Russian Primers got 38, Marlon Welcome Goodman 27. The two shared a 71-run partnership. Well, wicket takers for the Sari Sari Sunrisers, Kyron Phillip picked up 2 for 15 and Ishmael Lender 1 for 8. The Sunrisers in search of 123 to keep their season alive. They could only get 110 for 3, losing the game by 12 runs. Kyron Phillip top scored 48, and we had Darren Benter getting 28. Wicket takers for this Champagne Reef divers, Marlon, welcome Goodman, 1 for 23, Joel Dura, 1 for 21, and Nihal Payne, 1 for 15. Roshan Primus was named the Bullseye Pharmacy Player of the Match. Let's now hear from the winning captain, Stefan Pascal.
From the start we had, to finish with that total, it was a very good effort by the guys. In the field, I felt we gave up a little too much runs. I feel bowlers wasn't on the same wavelength as I was, but that is just something that we have to work on.
All right, you mentioned it was a good score given the start, because we have to go back a bit to that. Losing yourself and Cheyenne Bradford early, and given the run that the team has had in the past 4 games, what basically was going through your mind at that point in time, knowing that someone else had to step up?
Well, we have Primus there, and the rest of the guys, Brian, Akan. I wasn't too flustered. As I told you, I backed the guys 100%. So even with that, I wasn't flustered. I was just waiting for them to come good.
All right, and now going to make a push for that top 2. You're going to get some reinforcements. We're hearing that Alec Athenes will be available as of Thursday. How exciting are you to have him in the setup?
Well, we're always excited to have him. He's a diver's man at heart. He always supports us no matter where he is in the world. So he will be a very good addition to the team.
Champagne Reef Divers captain Stefan Pascal. Well, Darren Benter was the stand-in captain for the Sari Sunrisers team.
I thought it was a very good game. It's the best we bat in the tournament. Just sad that we didn't get the W.
All right, if you could pinpoint anything that you could have probably done differently today, what would that be?
Probably get 2 more boundaries in our last over.
All right, good to see that you can still smile about it, but this loss puts you out of contention for a spot in the top 4, so basically your campaign is almost over. How would you assess the season so far, though?
We had some up and downs, but there's next season. We hope we can come back better for the fans and everybody.
So the competition will continue on Wednesday with 2 crucial matches. In the first game, Indian River Rowers will battle the Barana Ote Warriors, while in the second match, the Detroit's Tito Gorge Splashers will be up against the Valley Hikers. Gavin Richards reporting for DBS Sports.
And a special thanks to Gavin Richards for always being on top of things. Still here in our evening sports here, Hayley Matthews hit an unbeaten half-century to power the West Indies women's team to a crushing 9-wicket win over India to draw their 3-match series leveled at a game apiece on Tuesday today. India batted first and made 159 for 9 in their 20 overs. Chanel Henry picked up 2 for 37, Deandra Doughton 2 for 14, Hayley Matthews 2 for 36, Afi Fletcher took 2 for 28, and the West Indies in reply hit 164 in 15.4 overs. Hayley Matthews hit 85 not out, Kiana Joseph 38, and Shermaine Campbell 29 not out. Windies women's captain is Hayley Matthews.
Yeah, I think we probably knew we weren't up to scratch in that first game and started really slow, and it was definitely something we wanted to turn around today. Just trying to be in the game really early, and I think the players with the new ball obviously set the tone, Deandra and Chanel, the way they came out, and we just tried to take that momentum right through the game. Yeah, I guess pretty good to get some runs. And I guess see it right through the innings as well. I think it was obviously a pretty important game, wanting to level the series today. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy I was able to take it right through the innings and, yeah, just get the win in the end. I think as a team, we certainly want to do better. Yeah, we probably have put on quite a few chances in the last 2 games, but we are a team that usually has very high fielding standards, and I think everyone within the dressing room knows that we aren't quite upholding those standards right now. But I think it just comes down to the training at the park, and obviously we don't play under lights as often as well, but it is something we need to figure out really quickly as we're playing under lights so much more often these days.
And that was Windies women's captain Hayley Matthews. The series is leveled at 1 apiece. Meantime, the West Indies men will be looking to level their 3-match series with Bangladesh tonight when they meet Bangladesh in the second T20 tonight. First ball is at 8 p.m. And national under-15 cricketer Derwin Lewis says he's proud to have made the Windward Islands under-15 cricket team. Lewis is the son of fast bowler Vincent Lewis and is one of 8 Dominicans finding favor with the Windward Islands selectors following Dominica's second-place showing at the Windward Islands Under-15 tournament on the weekend.
Well, it was a good tournament. I enjoyed myself, even being the MVP of one of the games, scoring a total of 165 runs. Well, it was a good tournament. Well, not for everybody, not for the Grenadians, but I enjoyed myself.
All right, so 165 runs, did quite well with the bat, and you're also off spinner as well, I'm told?
Yeah, but I did not bowl in the tournament. It had more bowlers on the team than batters, so I had to step up my hands and step up myself and bat for my team.
Making the Windward Islands team, well, describe that feeling for me right now.
It was a good feeling. I've been trying for 2 years and I finally succeed in making the team.
And your father is a well-known cricketer, Vincent Lewis. How instrumental has he been for you, in your journey so far as a cricketer?
Well, he's the one that got me into cricket. I started playing cricket because of him, and I love him as my father. He's my mentor, and I feel joy to have him here with me.
Okay, so now on the Windward's team, what do you think you need to do moving forward as a young cricketer looking to take the next step?
Score runs, take the game seriously, and take my academics seriously.
And that was the national under-15 cricketer Derwin Lewis, as the Dominicans selected are Dewan Benjamin, Derwin Lewis, Joshua Joseph, Dylan John, Kellen Christmas, and Alex Armstrong, with Zayden Cornelius and Elon Pascal both being reserve players. Well, this brings us to the end of this evening's news and sports. A special thanks to the DBS News and Sports team and link personnel, DJ Halo Boy.
Christmas in this year.
Can I have this? We have an extra $400 from Flow. You can have everything you
More
want.
gifts with Flow. With Christmas in, win weekly prices up to 10,000 in cash. Sign up for a postpaid bundle or a broadband plan.
We Christmasing with free groceries from Flow, plus a chance to win weekly prizes and up to $10,000 cash. Head over to your nearest Flow store or visit discoverflow.co. Flow, we Christmasing.
More gifts with Flow.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
Welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 17th day of December 2024. We begin with the evening edition of the DBS Radio the DBS Radio Death Announcements on the Community Bulletin Board. We announce the death of Reverend Father Charles Martin, aged 67, of Scott's Head. He died on Monday, the 2nd of December. He was the parish priest of the St. Alphonsus Parish. He will be remembered by his sisters, Vanya and Lucy, his brothers, Francis, Guy, Sam, Kurt, and Nigel, nieces, Kaylin, Kishma, Nettie, Keshma, and Marika, nephews, Kimbell, Norto, Keanu, Asafa, Chianti, Guy II, Quard, and Guy III. Special cousin, Monique Roberts, and family, grandnieces and nephews including Natalia, Saraya, Kanye, Norto Jr., Keon, Kian, and Kiana. Brother-in-law Leo Kazimi, sisters-in-law Minerva, Chrislyn, Delia, and Virginia. Uncles Ronald, Hector, and family. Aunts Crystalline and Emily Hector and Rosamond John Lewis. Numerous cousins including Pamela Del Sol and family, Claudia and family, Alexia and family, Annelyn Roberts and family, Orlando, Martin, Stefan, Josephine and Patrick Rodney, Mrs. Vernon Jules and family, special friends Martin Anthony, former President Charles Savarin and former President Eliud Williams, Her Excellency President Silvani Burton and Mr. Burton, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit and family, Honorable Miriam Blanchard, Honorable Denise Charles Pemberton, Lady Catherine Daniel, Dr. Valda Henry, Julie Dorville, Stella LeBlanc, Burl David, Tony LeBlanc family, Sharon Hansby, Noeliva LeBlanc, Reginald Lafleur, Joyce Vidal and family, Mrs. Joan Maynard and family, Bishop Forbes, Archbishop Gabriel Malzer, the clergy of the Diocese of Roseau, with special mentions of Monsignors Eustace Thomas and William John Lewis, priests from other dioceses including Father Simon Peter, Father Gregory, Alfred Colmer and Glenn Nixon. Numerous other relatives and friends including Clara, Vivian and Nellie in Martinique, Claudette Casimir, Inez, Raina, Gemma, Nertisha and their families, Mrs. Celia Nicholas and family, Conrad Caesar, Dr. Bland family, Mrs. Jackie Emmanuel, Mrs. Adelina Detush and family, Mrs. Edwina Maglore, Mrs. Sonia Akpa, Mrs. Josephine Corbett and family, the staff of the oncology unit, especially Dr. Gamez Moses, Dr. Gamez and Dr. Moses, Nurse Richards and Laville, Mrs. Jean-Jacques and staff of the Dominica Social Security, staff of MO News, Brother Philogem, Gertrude Isaac, Ian Monroe, Cynthia Voclina, Andre, parishioners of the entire Catholic Diocese and the communities of Scotshead, Soufriere and Galion. Currently, the wake service for the late Father Reverend Charles Martin is taking place at the St. Alphonsus Roman Catholic Church. The body will be viewed on Wednesday, the 18th of December at Our Lady of Fairhaven Cathedral from 9:30 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. The funeral mass begins at 10:20 a.m. and will be followed by interment at the Soufriere Roman Catholic Cemetery. The funeral arrangements are entrusted to Gentle Rest Funeral Service, Inc. We announce the death of Kenley Nelson, better known as Chicken or Maybach, age 35, of St. Joseph. He died on the 16th of November. The funeral arrangements for the late Kenley Nelson, better known as Chicken or Maybach of St. Joseph, will be given in a subsequent announcement. The management and staff of DBS Radio, the nation station, extends deepest condolences to the family of the late Reverend Father Charles Martin of Scotshead, and also to the family of the late Kenley Nelson, better known as Chicken or Maybach of St. Joseph.
And now, your community bulletin board.
Let's now bring you this evening's edition of the general announcements on DBS Radio's Community Bulletin Board. The parliamentary representative for the Soufriere constituency, Honorable Denise Charles Pemberton, would like to invite villagers of Point Michel, Soufriere, Scotshead and Galion on Thursday, the 19th of December at 6 p.m. to the tree lighting in Soufriere. Persons are asked to call the office at telephone number 265-2600 for transportation details. Fresh Produce Cargo will be accepting cargo for St. Thomas on Thursday, the 19th of December from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Deep Water Harbor in Foncolé. For more information, please call telephone numbers 277-8760 or WhatsApp 340-277-9565 or 344-4714. to the end of this evening's edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. Thank you very much for joining us. The next edition is tomorrow morning from 6:10 a.m. with the morning edition of your DBS Radio Death Announcements, and then we continue at approximately 7:40 a.m. with the morning edition of your DBS Radio General Announcements. Don't forget to air your announcements on DBS Radio, the nation station. Come into the sales and marketing team's office Mondays through Fridays between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Also, you can give us a call at 448-3282 or 448-3283, same times and days mentioned, except holidays. Of course, 7 o'clock, in just about 20 minutes' time, my good friend Ruben comes in with La Vida en Español. It's going to be like a nice Christmas edition tonight. But in the meantime, let's still rope in some Christmas music for you like this.
Say something.